Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Let's Talk It Out podcast. I'm your host, Alec Lifschultz, a.k.a. Trey Busy. I have a very, 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 very special show for you guys tonight. But before I go on, I'd like to thank everybody who tuned in last Thursday. Listen to Charles. I appreciate Charles a lot for coming on, man. He was a great guest. He was very, very informative. He's very passionate about what he does with helping people with finding their careers. And also, he's passionate about helping out the children, man. That's a big thing. People out there that really care about others. I want to thank you guys for coming in on Friday, listening when I went live on Friday. I did a random show just to talk about the whole concept of the Let's Talk It Out podcast. You know what we do, and the whole just the where it came from, where the idea came from, and it was amazing. It was truly, truly amazing to be able to do that. So, before I go any much further, I'd like to say I have a special guest tonight, someone that means a lot to me personally and on a professional level. I'd like to welcome in my mom, Bonnie Lifschultz.
Hello, everyone. Back on Let's Talk It Out again with Alec. Well, I'm glad to be back. I appreciate him allowing me to be a guest, although I'm his mom. Hello, everyone in the chat room. I hope everything's going good for you today. God bless. Everybody's having a great day. And Alec and I are going to have a candid conversation like we normally have. It's a mother speaking to a son, a son speaking to a mom. We just kind of have those kind of conversations often. I'm ready to go. We're just going to kind of flow tonight.
So my mom is she's a fountain of information. That shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody who's listened to the podcast. It has to have come to from somewhere. She's really experienced a lot. She's overcame a lot. And honestly, I mean, before we even did the podcast, I want to say we were talking for at least 55 minutes before we even decided to sit down and press the button. I was like, you know what? We might as well go ahead and bring the conversation over for everybody else to listen to. So we are early. I mean, this is about 43 minutes actually earlier than what we usually go live. But I just wanted to have the conversation with you guys. So I was talking to my mom. I wanted her to talk a little bit about, she made a big move to Nashville a couple of years ago, and she's been down there working for the Nashville Sheriff's Department. She used to work for the Cook County Sheriff's Department up here in Chicago, but she recently got a promotion at her job, and I wanted to congratulate her on that on the radio live. That's really, I mean, anytime you get a promotion at your job, that means that you went over and beyond your calling for work, and you stood out and with a group of people for them to be able to recognize that you are worth giving more money to, and you're worth putting at a higher platform. So just wanted to give her a congratulations on the air for getting a promotion at her job.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the blessings that come. I'm humbled. I'm thankful. Promotions I don't take lightly, and I try to reevaluate and make sure I protect and have the right mindset concerning my work ethics. I think work ethics is huge when you're working. I feel like I've always been the kind of person that I felt like if you're going to do a job, you need to do it with excellence, and you need to do it with 100%. And that means different things for different people. Depends on your disciplines in your life. So, we can talk more about that. But thank you so much for that accolade. I got a promotion, and it's just by the grace of God. I'm thankful for the promotions. Every promotion that comes, I'm thankful for. I don't take it lightly. I do not take it lightly. So, because I know with more freedom comes responsibilities, and there's accountabilities. The more you move up, the more you're accountable for other lives, and you have to really take that seriously. It's not something you just want to. You want the role for the role. You should want and have that role because other people are dependent upon you, and you want to make sure you constantly evaluating yourself and make sure you're on track, that you don't make unnecessary mistakes. And if you make one, learn and grow from it. That's what I always say. So I'm pretty humbled, and I'm realistic about life and mistakes that I made. So nobody's perfect. I realize that. So we're all human, and we're all learning this thing called life. And that's what's encouraging.
So with this promotion, she was working 12-hour days, so she was working from 7 to 7. But now, starting on Monday, she's going to be working from 7 to 3. Am I correct, or is it 3:30?
Well, I don't have my exact hours, but the fact that I'll be working days is huge. Let me give a little background. Like Third said, I worked for the municipality in Chicago. Cook County Sheriff. I was there for 5 years as a sheriff, and I worked 311 for the whole time I was there. My days changed, but I still worked that kind of 311 shift. When I got here, I worked for municipal. I'm really not supposed to talk about. Well, I worked for the municipality here in Nashville, but when I went through the academy here, was it December? I started academy December 2018, and I graduated February. What they have is a special honorary grad or the valedictorian of the class. Me and another guy both were valedictorian of the class, and with that came a special treat, which you get to choose where you want to be. So I went on days because I just function better. I'm a day person. I'm not nocturnal. I'm totally a day person. All my energy levels are high in the daytime. So I went on days, and from days I was there in January, and I graduated in February, at the end of February. And I went up for a promotion last year in August, and I actually got that promotion in April. I became a corporal, and from corporal, I went to nights. So sometimes when you get promoted in the law enforcement, you go from days to nights. It's not uncommon. Most people that's in law enforcement know that's pretty routine. It's kind of normal because it's like you get promoted, but you start at the bottom again. So I've been kind of struggling with the night shift and trying to adapt and adjust, and my body just doesn't do well. My peak or my premium self when I'm working nights. So there was a position that opened up that I applied for and I interviewed for, and I got it. It's got word that I got it. I was really excited about that. And the great thing about this position is I'm going to be in a position where I'm going to be doing something a little more and helping build the community, I would say, and make the community safe and get people ready for the community. So I'm always trying to do something that's going to help others if I can. If I can put myself in a position where it's not just about me benefiting, but others are benefiting as well, I get excited about that. That's that part of my heart that like to see people function. And that's just something God put in me. I'm just like that. I celebrate when people celebrate. I'm more when people are unhappy or they mourn, they have grief. But we all in this thing together, and we have to keep working together because it takes a community. It takes a person. It takes a family. It takes a community. It takes a nation to make this work. I realize that it starts from the bottom and goes up. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Third, for that accolade and acknowledgement. I appreciate it. I'm always going to strive and continue to do the best I can wherever field I'm in. I'm always trying to develop and grow and learn and become, because we're all becoming, I feel like, and we're still growing. Nobody has it all, and there's always room for growth. So it's funny because I was said the other day to growth and development, and it was like a inside joke. Aaron, I was talking to Aaron. He said, "Oh, it was like okay, Larry Hoover," but but growth and development is what we all need. We have to grow and mature and develop and esteem and try to reach that place of the next level. I think that's important. Um, I wanted to mention something as far as when we talk about promotions. And everybody, I think everybody wants the promotion. And I just experienced something that was kind of not unusual for most workplaces. This so happened and I've had knowledge of. Sometimes when you're in a municipality and there are job openings available, everybody's going to go after that job. I mean, everybody come out the woodwork, everybody's going to apply, but they can only have so many positions for so many people. So somebody's going to be left behind. And sometimes when we go for these positions, we got to ask ourselves some candid questions. It's good to apply for a promotion, but the truth in the matter is this, inside field, and I always ask this when people want to be promoted, why do you want the promotion? Because your motives have to be right. You have to be ready. You have to be qualified. And you have to be able to do the job that you're getting promoted for. I mean, it's not just about the money or convenience and all that. You have to really be honest with yourself, because as you get promoted, more people you're teaching, training other people under you, and you want to make sure they're being trained properly. I read this book, The 101 Wisdom Keys by Mike Murdock, and Mike Murdock said something. He said, Those who are promoted, people that receive promotions are those who are overqualified for the position they are in now. And when I think about that, when you become overqualified for the position you're in now, that means somewhere along the line, you're doing your job, you're disciplined in doing your job, you're on time, you have good work ethics, you've gotten everything that's been instructed you to do, you know policy procedure, you're doing your job in such a way that you can even train others to do your job. And that's when the promotion comes. You're faithful in what you're doing. You're not trying to find ways not to do your job. You want to do your job. You want to do your job with excellence. You want your job. You want your job. You want to create an atmosphere where not only you're doing your job, but you're helping others around you do their job. So you become not just a self person, but a team player, and even to the point where everybody's kind of flowing together to make the job happen. And to me, that's doing the job with excellence, because it's never a place where you come like, oh, I come to work, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna do this job, and that's it. No, okay, you got your job, you know what yours is doing. So can you train somebody else how to do their job? Can you go and help somebody that need assistance with their job? What are you doing outside yourself to help somebody else get better at what they're doing as well? I mean, are there ways that you can help somebody else have a better way of training and developing their job? So that's when you know you're overqualified for your job. You like, you don't know you're ready inside, but you don't push for it. But your superiors are identified. They don't know you're ready for it, and they'll see that in you, because it's not about self-promotion in the senses like that. When you're good at what you do, the Bible says you won't stand before common men, but you'll stand before kings and queens. That means you'll rise to the top, because you're always developing your craft. You're never going to stop, and you just don't settle. You don't become complacent. You're always driven. So I think that's this object lesson in life, and that's what keeps us motivated, keep us going, and keep us sound. I always look at the different parts of life and the components in life I look at. I'm always reevaluating, always coming back to that place where, okay, I have 5 things I look at in life: my faith, my family, my friends, my fellowship, and my fitness. I mean, I'm always revisiting those things and say, okay, I have goals in these areas. So I set goals for these places, and I always revisit it. Am I on point with my goal? What do I need to do to accomplish this goal? Or is this goal the right goal? Do I need to reevaluate that goal and have a more attainable goal, or am I redirecting myself? So it's all about self-development and improvement, and just allowing yourself to be the very best version of yourself as you live life. So I think that's real important. And I'll always encourage you guys to do the same.
I just wanted to say that the word stress is a buzzword that we hear often. And a lot of people think stress itself is a gigantic problem. And it's not just stress that's the problem, it's your relationship with stress that's the problem. It's how you sometimes put in certain stressful situations, like just a certain amount of stress helps you get over a lot of things, helps you get out of problems. Like say if you're in danger or something like that, you need some kind of stress to push you a little bit. But it's when you don't have a healthy relationship with stress that it starts messing with you. Like it says people get so stressed out that it starts affecting their immune system, where they get sick and they can't fight back, the germs, like how their white blood cells aren't being effective, or even emotionally, like they're so stressed out that they're not feeling the same way emotionally towards people in their lives, that they become a little short with others because the stress is weighing on them. And I posted inside the chat room, the stressful reactions of your body comes from things like these: unprocessed experiences, harmful beliefs, unhealthy emotional patterns, and fear. Right? These 4 things right here cause your body to be under stress. Unprocessed experiences, meaning something that's probably new to you, a new experience. Harmful beliefs, things that you believe is going to go bad, cause you to be stressed out. Unhealthy emotional patterns. That's one that you have to dive into that a little bit deeper. Unhealthy fear is pretty obvious. If you're afraid of a certain situation or certain thing, or a lot of people experience fear with something new, which again, I relate that with unprocessed experiences. But unhealthy emotional patterns will be something like, I don't know, dating somebody new and getting romantically involved and getting feelings for somebody new every other month or something like that. Like there's people like that that go out there and just get attachments easily. That's unhealthy emotional pattern because you get those attachments to people so soon that and it doesn't go right, and then here you are just hurt from that. You know, you're going through, your body's going through a range of emotions so quickly when you do that. Unhealthy emotional patterns could cause stress. Harmful beliefs. I mean, again, harmful beliefs can coincide with fear a little bit, but harmful beliefs could be something like a good example of a harmful belief. Mom, give me one real quick.
A phobia of snakes, or a fear of spiders, or a fear of heights. Are they talking about those kind of phobias? Or maybe even afraid to go outside, or afraid to go on a date, or afraid to go out and mingle because you're afraid you may meet someone that's going to hurt you. It's like, is it like pulling a string off of a sweater and everything unravels? You think this is going to happen because this is going to happen, like a domino effect. So you're fear of everything. The ultimate result is just taking that first step. Fear of being on your own, being independent. Fear of dating and being honest with someone in a wholesome, healthy, functional relationship. So you have multiple relationships with many people. Forget if a fear of intimacy or closeness. I mean, are we talking those kind of fears? And maybe a fear to go back to school and be educated to be the profession that you want to be. I mean, fear of time passing you by. Some women have fear of not being married at a certain age or having children at a certain age. Those kind of fears are we talking about?
The reason why I bring up stress and specifically unprocessed experiences is because within the last couple of years you experienced yourself a lot of new things that could be labeled as stress. The moving thing is stressful. The new job thing is stressful. Being away from family is stressful. Just even the injuries that you sustained with this job can be labeled as stress because these are things that you haven't experienced. They're unprocessed experiences because they're new, and again, that links to something that could be a harmful belief. You could believe that something that you injure will never reach the level it's at now, or it will never be the same. It's just all these things are stress, and that's why it's like I always tell people that my mom is like one of the strongest people I know because you're able to overcome all these things, and not only overcome all these things, but also be available emotionally for other people that reach out to you that need advice or need to be consoled. So
So expound on that. Yeah, stress. I think stress in and of itself is a natural process in life. It's your reaction or your perception of the stress. Or um, most stress people encounters, probably number one would be the fear of the unknown. Something new is a new thing. I'm afraid because I can't control that. Most people don't maybe even make a decision to do things I've chosen to do because they're afraid of the unknown. Fear of the unknown is a fear that I've never done it before, and I don't know what's going to happen. What if everything go crazy and crash? And what if everything go left and I fail? Nothing. My thing has always been my catchphrase is nothing beats a failure but a try. So to me, when stress kicks in physiologically, you're either going to flight or fight. Those are the two responses we have when we're put in situations, circumstances when we're afraid, right there, immediate circumstances. I'm naturally going to try to figure out a way to fight through it. I'm going to that's just my mechanism. That's my makeup. Also, as I've matured in life, I'll take a step back and I'll say, how do I assess the situation? I'm always processing. Okay, I don't like this. I mean, third, we talked about the fact that we decided to relocate from our family, our home. We came to Nashville. We took like 6 or 7 months to process that. We came down here. We applied for a job. We took the test. We took the site test. We found it. We found the apartment. We started the academy. So it was a step-by-step logical process in the way we did that. I told the family, I had been preparing the family for probably a couple of years that I was going to be relocating somewhere. I was going to be moving. So I kind of talked to the family about that. But everything, I think preparation is a key to success. When you begin to do something in life, you have to prepare yourself for it. The more you can prepare and get things in order, not that you can control all areas, but if you prepare for things that's coming, preparation is just a help when you can prepare for it before it just slam you in your face. Some things are going to slam you in your face no matter what, but you have to remember what helped me is the things I had battled in the past that helped me get through what I'm going through today. Because of my past testimonies and what God has done for me, and He's been faithful and He's guiding me through. He's been my guide, and the Word of God has always been my compass and directing me, as well as having a good, healthy support group, which is my children are a good, healthy support group. They're very encouraging. My mom, my sisters, I have really good friends that I can go to and support. And Anthony, my fiance, is very supportive. His family is very supportive. It's very good to have a good support group when you decide to step out. When we decided to make this move, we looked at, first of all, we had to resign from one municipality, start another one. Then we had to pull our resources from one municipality and to go to another. He had to sell his condo. So financially, we were okay with the finances because we were able to take that part of it. But also just the fact that we both had been in corrections. He had been in corrections for 12 years. I've been in corrections for 5 years. We knew that we could do the job. And we just wanted to come here and learn to do the job the way they wanted us to. So we came in. It was a door opener to come down here for other things. Once you get into corrections here, doors are open for other places. And I was, my thing was when I do something, I do it with excellence. And I do it wholeheartedly. And I'm going to try to stay focused. This is a decision I made. When you make a decision to do something, you got to stick to it. And I always say this, and I say it to myself, there's no room for failure. So when I came down here, went to the academy, we started working, and my first injury, I had an injury at county. I kind of got strong from. I was still an injury in January to my knee, and it was a very bad injury, but I had to go through physical therapy because I'm also a personal trainer, yoga instructor. I'm big into fitness, eating properly, healthy eating, exercising, good rest, the whole holistic approach to life. My degrees in health education, so I know the lifestyle and what it takes to. So I had to apply the things that I teach to my own life always. Eating healthy, eating foods that heal the bodies, making sure I get enough rest, drinking the proper things, feeding my body the right things, making sure I'm exercising and keeping my body strong, and also having a healthy mindset, as well as self-talk and encouraging myself, praying, meditating, yoga. I mean, all those things are really important. And I also do a lot of journaling. I journal a lot. I've been journaling for years. I write down things. Writing down has helped me withstand and come through a lot of obstacles or a lot of things I've gone through in life, as well as I have a therapist that I talk to. I have a therapist that I talk to every other week. Her name is Donna. I've been talking to Donna for about the last 3 years. So I think it's healthy to do that too, to be accountable to someone outside your family members that's going to tell you the truth, and you have nothing to gain. She kept, it's like a point, when you get, it's like a compass. When you have your degree set on the compass and it's set, if you're going according to that degree straight way, you're going to get to where you're going to need to be. But if that degree is off one point, by the time you get to where you're going to go, it's going to be way off into left field. So it's good to have somebody that's going to help repoint that compass in the right direction. Stressors, I guess, to me, there are different type of personalities. And that's why I always look at my personality as the kind of personality as I see something as a stressor or something as an obstacle or something as a challenge. My thing is I'm competitive, so I want to overcome this challenge. Many times I've embraced the fact that things come into your life not to destroy you, but to develop you. It doesn't come in your life to kill you, but to make you stronger. It doesn't come in my life to take you out, but to move you to your next place in life where you should be. Some things are catalysts for change. So when I injured my knee, it made me reevaluate, okay, well, do I want to stay in this profession, or I need to start looking at a different profession, maybe doing something else within the sheriff office? So I really started thinking seriously about that. Also, as well, I was still making my body stronger. Got back stronger, got back to work, got back to what I was doing. That was like February, March, April. I got the promotion as corporal. First month in the corporal, I hurt my back. It was like something else happened. So I was like, again, so right then and there, I knew, okay, it's time for me to transition to a new position. But right now, I'm going to physical therapy. I'm getting strong. My core is getting strong. I'm doing what I got to do to get my body back so it can function, because I'm always into quality of life. quality of life is very important for me. So again, the way I deal with stress is this: when a stressor happens, which are things that happen out of our control. Well, things I can control, I prepare for. That's one thing. All these, the move, the new career, applying for new jobs. All along, what I'm doing is I prepare myself for what's to come. I'm keeping myself in shape. I'm eating properly. I'm keeping my weight off. I'm keeping my mindset. I'm studying policies and procedures. When they give me these jobs, I have to go through and learn all these policies and procedures. So what I do is, along the while, something I know I'm interested in, I kind of glance at these things over time. So when I get them, it's not like it's all new to me. So I'm preparing myself for what's to come. If you learn to prepare yourself for what's to come with your day-to-day life, then life is not so hard. Now, let's talk about the stresses or things that are unseen that I cannot predict. The last time when I hurt myself at work, I didn't see that coming. I hurt my back. I actually hurt it's called sacroiliac. I hurt my pelvic bone. So it was a real serious injuries. I had to go on light duty. At first, I had to go on ILD. I was off for a while. Now I had to go on light duty. And I'm still going through physical therapy right now. And I have to get an injection for it. So my thing is always, I can either fall back and give up, or I can stand up and fight and go forth. My thing is always to fight and always go forth. So I'm working on my core. I'm getting my core back strong, because when this thing happened, there was a lot of different things that were going on at the time, as far as my workman's comp and IOD and how to get the proper care. I had to be an advocate for myself and not succumb to what they were offering, but I had to get care for where I knew I can get care that was going to be the best care for myself. So sometimes it's a matter of speaking up and making sure you get the proper care. So me having some kind of knowledge of physical therapy and training and body functioning properly and my body doing what it's supposed to do, I just applied that. And I knew that this is what I'm going to have to do to get this back. So I'm going to go to physical therapy. I'm going to do my own physical therapy at home. I'm going to work on things to get my core back strong. I'm going to ice my back. I'm going to heat my back. I'm constantly doing that now. I am doing exercise. I'm strengthening I'm back with my weights, lighter weights. I'm getting my body tight. Like I said, I'm making my core stronger. So all these things are going on. And in addition to all this, the wedding is in August. I'm getting married in August. So I'm getting my body what I need for it to be for the wedding as well. And then doing all this planning with all that. But how do I deal with stress? First of all, like I said, when that thing happened, I was upset. We all go through that. We have emotions. Nobody's perfect. I had to process it. So when things happen that's out of control, I process. I pull back. I pray about it. I write things down. I journal. And I try to understand what's happening right now. And I write down what's happening. Okay, this is what's happening. I'm at work. I just got a new promotion. I got injured. My body is injured. What's more important to me right now? Is it more important for me to try to get back to work because I started a new position? Or is it more important for me to try to give my body time to heal, get the proper care, and get the quality of life and the healing I need for longevity of life, and take my time? So that's what I did. To me, it was more important that my body works for me over time and then to take care of itself. So that's what I did. To me, stressors, I came from a family. My mother had 7 girls and a boy. We had 2 bathrooms, so I'm always waiting to use the bathroom. So life of stressors for me was normal. It's a natural process. Then I grew up. I got married to a Marine. That was stressful. And I had 5 children. Real quick, you and Alexandra are like, 18 months apart? Ann and Azariah, 2 years apart. Aaron is the one that's 3 years older and younger than them. So that's the only break I had. So the children were coming. So to me, stressors just cause you to grow and mature and develop and come with better plans. And you have to have a better structured life or more disciplined life when stressors come. And you have to learn how to adapt to the stressors, or adapt to the things that, not the stressors, but adapt to the things that cause the stressors, so they won't be so stressful for you. Will become more of a way of life and mature you. Stressors come to grow you up and mature you into the next person, or into the person you need to be. So that's how I look at stressors. Like I said, unless it's harmful, if somebody died, somebody's seriously injured, unless my children are in harm's way, I think I can get through everything else. So that's how I always look at life. I go back to the basics, and I'm thankful. I find ways to be thankful every day. I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for my job. I'm thankful for my fiance. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful that I have a job and that I'm growing in this job. I mean, I'm thankful that God does consider us, and He's put us in His plan, and He's got us in His purpose. I thank God for each one of you guys that you're functional. You're adults. You're able to function on your own, and you're progressing. You know, that's a mother's prayer to see you guys progress and be healthy and strong. I'm always thankful. Being thankful for the small things help you see life in a different light every day. So the stressors to me are just stressors come. It's on your perception of your stressors. What is the stressor in my life to do? Is it here to destroy me, or is it here to mature me, teach me, grow me up, and let me learn from something? And usually that's what God puts stresses in your life for. He's trying to move you from point A to point B. You won't move on your own, so He's going to give you a little push with a stressor so you can get moving and grow up into who He wants you to be. That makes sense?
That, and a lot of times there's a word out there that people always give a negative connotation to. That word is the word surrender. People hear the word surrender and they automatically think that it means giving up. Well, in actuality, the word surrender just means that you are being accepting of where you are right now, but that doesn't mean you have to stay there. You are accepting that, you know what, I'm where I am now, but I will be better because I'm going to work towards being better. When you are dealing with the injuries, when you're dealing with situations at work, when you're dealing with even family life at home, you understand that where you were at, that doesn't mean that's where you have to stay. You could work towards changing that. So
absolutely,
I just wanted to say that real quick. I mean, we were talking about stress, and we were talking about interpretations for different types of stress and different forms of it. You know, and people react to it differently. So,
true. I want to expound a little bit on the surrender. That's perfect. I mean, it's amazing. We talked about that a little bit. The surrender part to me is not, it's a positive, because at that point I come to a place in my life where I feel like I know that I'm not in control. I know I'm not controlling this, and I have to surrender to the will of God. And the most empowering and powerful and the biggest blessing that's come for me in my life when I've chosen to surrender to Him and give it to Him. Because as long as I'm trying to do it in and of my own powers, I'm working, I'm trying to make it happen, I get worn down, I wear myself down. And in two situations that I've noticed in my life has been with my relationship, as far as meeting someone that care about me for who I am, and then with my job, my career. Um, I Well, after your dad, I mean, obviously, I was dating again and nothing really worked out. So I said, you know what? I give up. I'm just going to work on improving me, liking me, give me some hobbies, being okay being single. I don't have to have anybody in my life. I'm cool with that. I was so cool with that. I mean, I was just so content. I mean, if I went out on a date, I went on a date. If I didn't, I didn't. It wasn't like I was thirsty. I was so straight with that. And it just so happened when I got to that point where I said, I'm okay. That God brought somebody in my life, and I fought it for like a year. He asked me out for about a year, and I kept like, nah, for various reasons. First of all, you work at the same place I work. I don't want to date anybody who I work at. Second of all, you're a little younger than me. I'm not gonna date anybody younger than me. I kept having excuses. And then one day I was like, why not? Why don't I just go out to dinner or go out to a movie? And I went, and I had a good time. And from there, got to know a person that's very, very genuine, very sincere, very generous to me, very respectful to me. I surrendered. First of all, I surrendered to trying to have a relationship with something that wouldn't work, and I was okay with me. And then God brought somebody into my life that He wanted me to have, and I surrendered to that process. And now, 3 years later, here we are getting married. The other surrender that I've experienced is with my job. I came to work, I worked hard, I kept applying for jobs because I qualify. These things would come up and I would apply for these, and I kept applying. I think I've been to like 10 interviews since I've been here in 17 months, because I apply for jobs. I never give up, never be a failure, but to try. I'm going to always try. And then I got to the point 2 weeks before I had this interview, I had another interview, didn't really hear back from them. I said, I'm going to go ahead. I was actually telling Third earlier, I was going to not apply for the job. And I was not going to even set up for the interview. And I got somebody emailed me and said, you're qualified for this job. You need to set up the interview by this date. So I waited and waited. I was kind of waiting for last minute to set up the interview, and then I set it up, and then actually the time when it was time to go to the interview, I was telling my fiance, I said, I don't know if I even want to go to this interview. I just did this other interview 2 weeks ago, and I don't know if I want to go. He said to me, you miss out on 100% of opportunities you never try, that you never put forth effort to get. So why don't you just do this one thing? And I said, you know what, you're right. Let me go. I'm not a failure. I hate giving up. I hate surrender. I hate surrender to God, surrender to his process, surrender what he want to do, I can surrender to, but I don't like to quit. I'm not a quitter. So there's a difference between quitting and surrendering. Surrendering and saying, God, I did it my way. I yield to your way. You show me the way to go. But I'm still going. I'm still a fighter. I'm still a warrior. I'm still going to put forth my effort because it's me and God with this. As we live this, as I'm living my life, it's not just faith by without works is dead. It's something that you, as a part, you have to play in the process. So I surrendered to it. I got a call saying, you got the job. I was like, wow, really? I was like, I was so in shock. It was surreal. So surrender in and of itself is huge. When we get to a point in life where we're trying to make things happen, you have to surrender to the will of God and let him make it happen. When you get to that place of surrender, things begin to happen. And that was the surrender part that we're talking about. And that's huge. Many people are trying to do things in and of themselves, and they just need to surrender. There are parts you have to play. We have a part to play in our obedience, our trust, and our part that God tells us to do it. And we have to trust him for the rest of it. And that's how life works for me. I mean, that's my faith. That's my journey. And I trust it. So all that to say is this. Many times I talk to my children. When my kids were young, I talked to them about character. And character is your values and your morals and your integrity and your accountability. And it's those things you do when somebody's looking. It's the thing you do when somebody's not looking, when you choose to do the right thing and not just doing the right thing when somebody is looking. That's the integrity part of it. But character is also a development that people would need to have in order to be successful. Because I was just talking to Third about many times we all have giftings, we have talents, we have creativities, we have things that we're able to do, and we'll get to a place of that place. We can get to that place with our will and our skills. Our ability to get us places where our character won't be able to keep us there because we so messed up in our character that no matter how skilled we are in what we're doing, it gets us removed. So it's very important to build your character. So that was one of the things that we talked about, the character of a person, the integrity, the accountability, just you developing yourself, your inner self. There are disciplines that we need to have, I was physical therapy the other day. I walked in and we worked nights. I had slept for 2 hours, but I still went to physical therapy. And I said to the receptionist, I said this to her. I said, my fiance and I only had 2 hours of sleep last night. We worked nights, but we came to physical therapy because it's what we gave our word. We wasn't going to just call in and take the day off because we didn't sleep last night. I said, a lot of times people don't succeed in life because they're not willing to do the hard work. And everybody wants to have their sleep. They want to be able to have so much sleep. Sometimes it's not about sleep. It's about you being disciplined enough to get the job done, whether you have sleep or not. And I had to learn that the hard way when I first had my 2 children. My ex-husband was in the Marine Corps. I used to get up at 4:30 in the morning to drop them off on base so I can have the car with 2 babies so I can move around. And that was unusual. What that was doing, that was teaching me how to not complain or bicker about going the extra mile. Again, Mike Murdoch's champion, his wisdom key is this. Champions are willing to do what's hard today to be successful for their tomorrows. People that are not champions always want to be comfortable today. They want to be pleasure today. They want to be in a good place today. They just want to be comfortable. That's not comfort. It's not going to get you where you got to go. Sacrifice, hard work, and just doing the hard work now is going to make the path for your tomorrow. So you just have to be willing to do the work to have a good return. So,
we could talk about how a lot of times people do become complacent with things that they have in their life, and complacency is something that I just don't want to ever feel at any point in my life. I always feel like that there's room for improvement. I want to talk about how we were talking about stress. We were banging the gavel against stress, but like I said earlier, in short bursts, stress can be positive. Like it helps you avoid danger or meet a deadline. If you have to work overnight to get something done, you turn. Sometimes I've wrote some really good papers. I've done some excellent work in stressful situations. I've had times where, and don't tell nobody this that you heard this here, but I had times where I literally put together a whole show flow with a guest with like 30 minutes before the show went live. And you guys wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even be able to tell you which episode that was. You know why? Because, again, sometimes stress can be looked at as a good thing. But what I was saying about complacency is that it's something that the great people never have. I mentioned it last Thursday when I was talking about how the difference between millionaires and billionaires is how the billionaires have a feeling of obsession with wanting to accomplish more because they don't feel complacent. They don't feel like they've done enough. They want to do more. And even for you could put money aside, put people that are the best at what they do right now, the best singers or the best athletes. 9 times out of 10, those people are always in the gym. They are always on the field. They are always practicing a note. They're always writing. Like Tom Brady is about to be 43 years old, and I promise you, I would never bet money against that man ever, because that dude is obsessed with being the best quarterback. He's being obsessed with being better or being greater or taking something to the next level. You could take that outside, off the field, outside the gym, and just apply that to your life. Apply that to where you're at in your life right now. Where do you want to be? What do you see to yourself? Make a goal. Make bullet points on how to reach that goal, and don't let yourself become complacent with where you are. Work hard to reach those bullet points. Work hard to get that goal done. And if you do accomplish that goal, create a bigger goal. Don't become complacent, because you become complacent in life. That's one of the feelings I never want to feel. I never want to be complacent with anything. That's why when people congratulate me for things like, oh, congratulations for getting the podcast on iHeartRadio, congratulations on getting the podcast on Spotify, I really don't feel like I did anything, big. I don't feel accomplished from that. No, that's something that it was a goal of mine, but it's not something that I'm going to celebrate, because there's more that I could do. There's a lot more out there that could happen. And again, I mean, you can't. I'm speaking for myself personally. You can be happy about where you are, but don't become complacent with it. Myself, right. I have a bigger picture. I have bigger goals. I have bigger dreams that I want to reach, and I'm not going to I don't want to have a feeling of satisfaction or a feeling of complacency for where I am now. I'm going to keep going and keep working hard. Period. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry for people that, if that offends you a little bit, or, well, he's saying I can't be happy. I didn't say you couldn't be happy. I said you can't become complacent. It's a big difference.
Right. Well, yeah. Enjoy where you are to the road to where you're going. And complacency is a killer. It kills dreams. It chokes life. It kills destinies, because people get to a place where this is enough. I think I'm happy here. And there's so much more that you can go for. There's so much more potential you have. There's so many more lives you can touch. There's so many more destinies of people, lives that are attached to you. But when you sit down and you stop moving, this is what I heard somebody say: anything that's living will continue to grow. Anything that's not growing anymore is dead. And that's even with life. And that's what complacency causes. Complacency causes death to happen in your life one way or another, because you're not striving for the full potential in which life you've been given to live. I mean, if you're okay with your everyday life, or even with it may be something simple, like you may just want to take up a hobby, something you've always wanted to do. Okay, don't be complacent. Don't put it off. Go do it. That's cool. It ain't got to be something big and great and life-changing and life goals, but don't ever stop living, because if you find yourself not enjoying the basic things in life, then there's something in you that's dying and being stolen away from you, and that's life itself. So what does that mean? That means that in this life, God has given us life, and life is a gift. It's a gift, and you choose to do with this gift what you want. You're given this gift, and God said, "Here you go." But you have full potential. There are so many opportunities in life. The sky is the limit. There's so many things, and there are dreams that's inside of each one of us that have not come to fruition. And we know our dreams. Write them down and go after your dreams. Is there a hobby you want to accomplish? Go for it. If there are goals you want to set, go for it. If there are a country you want to visit, visit. I mean, there's so many things inside of us that desires to burst forth and have more life, and we're so busy capping it, trying to cap that bottle when it's like shaking up a bottle of champagne and letting it explode out. Yeah, you need to control that, but there are things inside you that want to live, and some people stifle that because they're afraid of fears. Deal with your fears and live your life. Life is so beautiful and it's so rewarding, and we have to begin to see that. Life in of itself is God said in His Word. He's given us all good things to enjoy. We get to a point where we see the joys in life and enjoying where you are to the road where you're going is. I have been striving. I won't stop. I know there are so many other things that I have goals and things that I want to do. So this is just, it's a means to the end. It's not the ultimate goal. There are small goals and there's an ultimate goal, but there are small goals along the way as you reach those goals in life and you keep going, but you never stop. Complacency. I think people, they're not happy. There's a discontentment. And there's even forms of mental illness that form because you've stopped living. Try to reignite life and get it going again, and then life begin to make sense. One way of putting it is, one day I was in the shower, and this is just where God speaks to me the most. He said to me, "You have merely been existing. I need you to live with a purpose." It was life changing for me. It was like he was like, we're talking right now. You've been merely existing. Now you need to live with a purpose. And when God speaks that to you, life changed for you because it's like, wow, you're right. I just been going through the motion of living life, doing this, doing that. It's like, whoa, let me see. Let me be. It's like taking a canvas and everything was black and white or gray. You just start begin to put pretty colors of hues on there: red, blues, yellows, purples, greens. You start begin to add color to your life, because then life begins to blossom and begins to glow. It begins to have more definition and more vivid image and everything. I mean, it's like more life, and it's just more rewarding when you begin to add those colors into your life instead of just walking around going, well, I guess I'm gonna get up tomorrow, have breakfast, go to work, come home, have dinner, and go to bed. What kind of life is that? I mean, yeah, I guess you are discontent because you're not looking forward to everything. Everybody needs something to look forward to. Everybody need to belong. They need significance. They didn't know they are loved, and they need to have something greater than themselves to look forward to. That's how we're knitted as human beings. We have got to have something greater than ourselves to look forward to. So when you begin to have those, even if it's small things, do that. Do that. Reward yourself. Self-care. Remind yourself that you're valuable, you're important, you do matter. God does love you. You are a part of a family, and you're part of a community, and you matter. You're not insignificant. You are significant. And I think all those things come along with our self-perception, being able to perceive ourselves the way God has perceived us, and ask God to show us who we are. You know, we're the apple of His eye. His thoughts towards us are as numerous as the sands on the seashore. He's always thinking about us. He dances over us. I mean, there's so many. If God feels that way about us, how should we see ourselves? Yes, I'm humble. I'm a daughter of God. I don't think I don't know. I'm not all knowing. He's all knowing, but He loves me, and He's chosen to love me. And for that reason, I have purpose, and I have a calling, and I have destiny, and I'm accepted, and I'm loved. He loves me. So if you could live life in that premise and understand your value, taking the time to, I'm not talking the value that you think you're better than anybody else, but the value that you are significant in God's eyes, and you're significant in those who love you eyes, and you have to be significant in self-care in your own eyes, and take care of yourself. You need to treat yourself like the kings and queens, or the prince and princesses, and the value and gems and diamonds and jewels and gold that you are. And you need to take care of yourself. All those things are worth great value, but they all have to be taken care of to continue to have that value, and let that value of those things shine forth. And that's where the self-care come in at.
Can we talk about how it's just so funny, we were just talking about having value and stuff like that. I want to just talk about something that hit my mind when I was like, I want to say I was maybe like, wait, 9, 10 years old, maybe even 11 years old, and we were at a church. We were at church, and I want to say it was like a special event. They had like a special guest apostle there,
Okay.
and I don't know if you remember or not, but he was praying for me, and he was saying how when you grow up, you're gonna become a leader, man. People are gonna be drawn towards you, and you're gonna lead them in the direction that they need to go in life. And it's so funny. I just, I remember that. And when I was younger, I was like, I obviously I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about. I think that's just like some church
You
stuff. And then, here I am now, almost 20 years later, pretty much doing exactly what was said that was going to happen over my life. And
right.
and that's one thing that just randomly popped up in my mind, because I remember you posted on one of my postings saying, hey, you're doing exactly what was, prophesied over your life, that you was going to grow up and lead people in the direction they need to go in, and they'll follow you and they'll be drawn towards you. And I was like I said, 20 years ago, who knew that we would have podcasts? Who knew that we would
True.
have internet radio? Who knew that I would be able to connect with people from different countries like that and get them to listen in to what you guys have to say, what the guests have to say, come in and read what the chat room has to say. Who knew that I was going to be doing that 20 years ago when I was just 9 years old?
That's true. That's called a prophetic word, spoken over you. And remember, we talked about destiny. I was sharing with Third about destiny. God has given each one of us a calling, a purpose, and a destiny. And it's up to us to embrace that calling, that purpose, and that destiny and walk in alignment to where He wants us to go. And what I was sharing with Third was um, we talked about domestic violence, and we've talked about previous shows. And I said to Third, I promise, I said a lot of people look at the victim of domestic violence and the harm they go through, and they do. And I acknowledge it because I was a victim, for certain, whatever. We got out, we're good friends. It's no big deal, no hard feelings. We're all good. But I always was interested in working with the perpetrator and bringing healing to the perpetrator and trying to bring wholeness to the perpetrator, the other side of domestic violence. Because it's two equations, two sides to the equation. And everybody wants to focus on one side, and it's lopsided. And there's a balance that has to be struck, because unless we deal with both areas, nobody wins. If there's two people involved and only one person wins, there's no win. It's only a 50% win. I'm always into 100%, at least 90%, as close as I can get. So my thing was, I made a promise to God. When I graduated from college, I did my internship with the domestic violence shelter, working with the women and the children, hotline, working in the hospitals, bringing education to the women that need help, domestic violence. And I said to God, if you ever bring me out of this and I ever get on my feet, I ever get empowered, I want to do it with the perpetrators. I want to work with men that actually abuse women, because there's something in there that's not right. And they need to be accountable, need to own it, but they also need the healing and the necessary tools to be restored or be rehabilitated from it. So I said that, and I always say your word is your bond. The person is only as important as their bond. So I was at Cook County. I was offered a job working with the people there that was over that program. John Deere, who's a psychologist that teaches the academy for Cook County, he has a program where he works with court order domestic violence victims. And the ladies offered me a job. I never ended up taking that job because I ended up leaving. And I came down here, and it's ironic. I was telling Third that your destiny is set. As long as you obey God, you trust God, you believe Him, you do it His way, you're going to be on your calling. You're going to find your way back to destiny and the word and what God put in your heart. The new promotion I got, I'll be working with the domestic violence perpetrators, helping to bring healing to them and helping them to be reformed, help bring value, to helping on that side of the equation. I work the other side, but that side is the side that's often forget about. These people matter too, and they need help too. And a lot of them there is mental illness, and there may be drug. It can be all kind of reasons why, but this is part of the role that I'm going to be playing in the new role that I have. And I said to Third, I said, when you are a purpose of call, when you are a person of destiny, God's going to always put you back on the path. You can start off your path, and it can have 5 different ways that you can go. And if you trust in God, no matter which road you take, you're going to come back to that one path that leads back to the destiny which He planned for you. You can't run from your destiny. You can't hide from your destiny. As long as you trust in God, He's going to bring you back to that road of destiny. And that's the same thing with that word that was spoken over third. A lot of times a prophetic word coming at that time, it's like, whatever, it doesn't make sense, or I don't trust this, I don't believe it. But prophetic words, when you're young, and anybody's life, when they hear it, they don't get it. It's like giving birth to something inside you. Eventually, that thing grows and develops, and it comes forth and brings forth a life in you. It can be like you said, 20 years later. Now look, life is happening. People are they're getting healed. They're being set free. Bondages are breaking. People are hearing truth. People are being empowered. People need to know shackles are coming off. Chains are being broken. People are being set free. And that's what it's about. Jesus died for us to be free, and that freedom came with a great cost. And we need to accept it, embrace it, and walk in and fight for that freedom. So yeah, I agree. People of destiny, people of purpose. That's what it's all about.
It's just really crazy though. I just like it just randomly popped up in my mind while you're talking about it.
Values.
Just to reflect upon some, and I mean, like, again, a lot of people do look over things when they hear them. But I was 9 years old. I didn't care about that. What did 9-year-olds care about? I cared about basketball. I cared about, I don't know, riding my bike with my
Video
friends.
games.
Video games, yeah, of course.
Yeah, basketball, video games, playing with your friends in the park, riding bikes in a little lot, playing scooters, skateboards, going to the park. Yeah, all those wonderful things that a 9-year-old cares about.
Things that kids don't care about these days, but I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, but it's always important, and this just goes to show whatever you speak over a child will come back to them. It's called a prophetic word. You got to speak life over your children. What you say to your children, they believe it. That's a belief system which you're creating in your child. When you speak life to them, life will come. When you speak death, death will come. Whatever you speak of your children, what they're going to have, because that's your words of authority, your words of encouragement, words of life and destiny, purpose and counsel. Those things are important. Children need to hear life spoken over them. Yes, they need to be corrected. I get that. Yeah, but they still need to be guided, directed, and taught and instructed. Life need to be spoken over them. It's called a prophetic word. It ignites in their life, and it's like burning eternity in their hearts. What's eternal? Life eternal has been burning in their heart, and eventually life is going to burst forth again. I don't know how to say it any other way. It's like, geez, I think it's a cultural thing in America. Like I was talking to Third earlier, a long time ago, we had a lot more disciplines, and more value set, more structure, more accountability. People spent more time with their families, teaching them the ways of their culture. And then we've gotten so far away from that, but it's not unheard of, like in Eastern culture or Christian culture in Eastern, back in Judea when Christ was born, or before then, that people would speak words of prophetic words of their children, or name their children words of prophetic words. The words that we named our children have prophetic words to them, and that every time you speak that word to that child, you're speaking life and their destiny and what they're made and what their belief and their faith to that child. And that's how it used to be. And people don't know that, but that's huge. It's huge.
D-Ray kind of threw me under the bus a little bit. He's in the chat room talking about cheesecake as well. So what I cared about when I was 9 years old. He said cheesecake was life back then.
Eli's cheesecake we talking about, or the cheesecakes we used to bake?
The cheesecakes from the kitchen that were made in the house. Those cheesecakes. The joints that had the chocolate chips in them.
Oh yeah. Those ones I used to bake. Yeah. The chocolate chip cheesecake.
Those used to hit differently back then.
I haven't made those in a long time. Chocolate chip cheesecake. Yep, we used to make those. Yeah, I guess they were. It was a different blend to it.
It was necessary. It was a necessary evil. The cheesecake was one. And a lot of times cheesecake gets disrespected these days. I see people talking about it, but to me that just means that they never had a good one.
True.
Because if you had a good cheesecake, then you can't talk bad about cheesecake. So,
yeah, cheesecake is good stuff when properly prepared. It's good stuff.
I also wanted to throw out the fact that I haven't had any good butter cookies in a while because
Oh, geez. Here we go.
I just
Here
want.
we go.
If D-Ray can recall those, so he's in the chat room recalling things.
Oh,
The butter cookies were a staple
well, I cook those every Christmas for Christmas gifts. And I still do, because that's all anybody want are those butter cookies. So, yeah, I spend a lot of time baking.
The butter cookies are a staple of happiness that is symbolic of the winter time, because growing up, the winter time meant that it was going to get snow.
Yeah,
Christmas was coming.
Chocolate.
And we were getting butter cookies. Those are the three things
right?
those are the three things that were certain in wintertime: snow, Christmas, butter cookies.
And butter cookies.
Nowadays, the butter cookies are questionable, but the
that's funny. That's hilarious.
D-Ray said it was next level. The butter cookies were
the
next
butter
level.
Cookies. Hey, D-Ray.
I just want to throw it out there. No, but in all seriously, I want to thank my mom for stepping in and having a great conversation with me tonight. I know she has somewhere she has to be. She has something she has to do. I also wanted to, say that it is very insightful to just sometimes sit down, because technically I could have had her on. We could have been talking, been live for at least the last 2.5 hours, honestly. Because we started our conversation about 2 hours ago, but he's in the chat room clowning still.
Who's that? D-Ray? He's still talking about desserts.
we gotta set up some type of function for Let's Talk It Out and have my mother. People want to come out to that, but she's gonna provide us with sugar cookies. I mean, given that if she's given the right amount of funding for it, she could make a huge amount of butter cookies for everybody. Just enjoy.
Listen to you. I think my kitchen and my desserts have expounded now. We have butter cookies, cheesecake, banana bread with chocolate chips, carrot cake. So, and I make some killer brownies. So it's growing here. Everything is growing.
D-Ray said he felt your word tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell D-Ray he gotta try that banana bread with the chocolate chips. It's on a whole nother level.
I don't want this to turn into a bake sale. I mean, baked goods. And my auntie, I mean, Eve would tell you too. Eve is listening. I mean,
yeah.
the
butter cookies.
I mean, they were. D-Ray said he's willing to invest. I'm not kidding. We could get a fundraiser or some type of or not even fun, like a big barbecue going for Let's Talk It Out, and just have the butter cookies and some cheesecake as the dessert, and it's going to lift spirits. People's spirits will be lifted. There will be all kinds of calmness, stress levels moving from existence. It's just the happy sensors will be going off in your brain like crazy.
So it's funny. That's funny because I bake to stay relaxed. It's one of the things I do to keep me relaxed. So I bake. That's one of my therapeutic relaxation techniques. Bake, and not give it away.
So there we go. It helps everybody. It helps my mom. It helps you guys. I mean, hell, it's a win-win-win, because I'm winning because I'm eating them, and you guys are winning because you're eating them, and she's winning because she's relaxing while making it. So I just want to throw that out there. Next time she's in Chicago, I might have to.
Yeah, when I'm home for an extended period of time, maybe we'll do a few desserts and have people come by and do like a milk and cookie thing. I don't know, with hot chocolate and cookie thing.
I don't know about the milk. I don't know about the milk part, but yeah, we'd do something. So
that's cool. I'm good with it. Tell Eve I said hi. I miss her.
She's in the
chat room. Eve.
Why you guys?
Hey, Eve.
Why you guys? She in the chat room? You talking about tell her I said hi. You can tell her you say hi yourself.
Hey, Eve.
D-Ray said he'll pay for the delivery of them. Like he's really eager to get his hands on desserts. I understand that. I'm in that same boat.
Tell him to D-Ray the next time I'm home for an extended period of time, I'll be sure to bake, and you just gotta come fly by and just pick some up.
Why?
How about that?
You keep saying I don't have to tell nobody anything.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
They are listening to us.
I'm all the way in Nashville now, so you guys gotta wait until I have an extended period of time in Chicago, which is coming up. I'll be home.
For the wedding, the wedding, that's not gonna happen, obviously. But
Well, the
Yeah.
week of the wedding, I'm gonna be busy, and then we're going on a honeymoon. We're coming back, and I'll be home for a few more days. So maybe I'll get a chance to do something a few more days before I head back to Nashville. Because we're off for 3 weeks.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. So again, I want to thank everybody for
Yeah.
listening. Uh,
Thank you guys for listening.
hope you guys have a good week. Um, yeah, man,
I,
it's
I just
great.
hope whatever my son and I just talking, candid conversation. I hope it's able to. You guys were able to glean anything from that, from my experiences. I'm glad you guys tuned in. Thank you for listening, and I'll be in the chat room again next week, chiming in. Like as always, you guys be blessed and have an encouraging, impactful, empowering week.